Welcome to Haaretz.com. I'm Aimee Amiga, and I'm joined by award-winning journalist Bradley Burston. Thanks for joining us, Bradley.
Thank you, Aimee.
Bradley, let's talk about peace. Do you believe that Israel and the Palestinians can achieve peace in our time?
I do not.
Okay, why so?
I believe that with the current political constellation on both sides, but particularly on the Israeli side, there's every reason for the current government to keep peace as far away as possible.
Why is it in their interest to do so?
It's in their interest because it creates a situation that energizes the right in Israel and drives the rest of the country in a kind of state of permanent despair, which keeps them neutralized, and it keeps any kind of broad coalition, broad opposition from forming against them.
But don't you think that the Israeli public wants peace and therefore it should put pressure on the government to achieve it?
Absolutely. I believe that absolutely that the great majority of Israelis want a two-state solution and they want peace. And I think at the same time, they have been absolutely convinced that it's impossible.
You once wrote, "My generation is the era of blockhead genius, of leaders like Benjamin Netanyahu, MIT, class of 77, and Ehud Barak, Stanford, 78, whose borderline pathological lack of basic social skills, coupled with superhuman egos, translate into grand promises of peacemaking, followed by down-in-flames failures to deliver." If you could speak to Netanyahu privately, one-on-one, face-to-face, what would you say to him?
I think I would tell him that his theory that the security of Israel is absolutely, completely bound up with his survival as a politician is way off base. I don't think it would help. I think he truly believes, though, that his survival as prime minister is absolutely critical to Israel's survival as a country.
There seems to be, among many Israelis, a sense that perhaps this might be the case. They don't see an alternate leader. I mean, there seems to be some sort of leadership vacuum in Israel. Do you think that's partly to blame?
Yeah, Israel's tragedy is a political system which, for whatever reason, encourages mediocrity. It encourages cronyism.
Are you calling Netanyahu a mediocre leader?
I don't think that Netanyahu is mediocre, but I think he is unable to see his own leadership clearly.
Netanyahu said that there's no point in drawing borders with a Palestinian state if you don't know what kind of state's going to be on the other side. So do you think this is just an excuse for Netanyahu to continue building settlements and to ultimately annex more land?
Absolutely. The settlements are the answer to every one of his political prayers because they make him, first of all, they diffuse the right. It's only the right here that can depose him politically at this point. Secondly, they cause anger in Washington, and he exploits that to get the kind of macho image which helps him with his own Likud party. But more than that, he's a would-be settler. He's a would-be religious guy. And it's weird because he doesn't live in a settlement and he's not at all religious. But
so why would be?
Tremendously drawn to the figure of the settler as the kind of the exponent of the great, the great Zionist hero.
Are you saying that Netanyahu would rather let the state of Israel be in a state of despair with no prospects of peace just to maintain his own political future?
I believe that the way he talks about the world is what he honestly believes to be true. But I think he also knows that there's a distinct political advantage for him in having a country in a state of despair, in a feeling of continual fear, and in a sense that it's being attacked all the time and forever.
Thank you very much for joining us, Bradley Burston. I'm Aimee Amiga, and you're on Haaretz.com.